Hello everybody, welcome back to our thing here. Today's video I am going to actually be showing you how to get fuller lashes. No extensions, no eyelash primer, no eyelash serums. It's just going to be me and my mascara today and an eyeliner. So hopefully this can help you guys out. This is something that people ask me about pretty frequently, or they tell me they think that I'm wearing falsies and they are always shocked to find out I'm not. I've even had people like make me wash my face in front of them to make sure I wasn't tricking them. So hopefully this can help you out with your eyelashes if you're wanting fuller lashes. I have 3 super simple tips when applying and 1 for removing at the end of the day that's really going to be a huge game changer for you guys. Let's get right into it. My acne is not doing too hot today, so let's kind of ignore that when we get a little bit closer to the camera. We're just gonna roll with it. So let's flash back to before I even put on my mascara and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is use an eyeliner. What this eyeliner is going to do for us is it's going to create a line from where your eyelashes are coming from, and it's going to make that line much darker. I'm not trying to go for a big thick line, just a thin one, enough to kind of fill in the gap, so it's going to make your eyelashes look thicker right from the root. So when I go in and do this, and really you can use any eyeliner, I always start right at the inside, and it's always very, very thin at the inside. And then as I go out, it'll get just a little bit thicker, but not a lot.
I could say you don't cross my mind.
So by doing that, starting with a thinner line and getting with a slightly thicker line at the outside, it's going to match kind of the way your eyelashes are naturally, how they're thinner on the inside and they get thicker as you move outward. Currently looking at it, it might look a little bit choppy, but that's okay because once we put on the mascara, it kind of blends it out nicely. So we're gonna do the other side real quick. Same thing, just put on that eyeliner.
But we both know it'd be a lie.
Believe me, it sounds complicated to start thin and then end up going thicker, but as you do it, because your eyelid is thinner, your eyelashes are thinner, you kind of do that by yourself without even realizing it. It's like a subconscious thing. So it will start thin and go thick. Not a huge difference, but just enough. The second step, I don't usually put it on the bottom, mainly because my bottom lashes are just thin anyways, and I like those to look a little bit more natural. I would never wear falsies on bottom, so I don't want my bottom to look like those ones are fake. I just want them to kind of look like a natural extension of my eye. With your mascara, I always use Blackest Black or Jet Black. When I go to a store, I'm using this brand today, Lash Sensational by Maybelline, but I have found that this method actually works with pretty much any brand of mascara that I use. Whatever you have, try this and it's gonna work out for you. What I'm gonna do is I just make sure that when I pull it out, I kind of wipe off the edge. This is very, very, very close to being completely out, so it's gonna be a little bit more complicated for me, but just follow these steps anyway and you'll be fine. I always start super close to the root of my eyelashes. If you're afraid to get too close to your eye, just work slowly and you'll be fine. And then as I do this, when I apply it, especially the first time, I do a very, very slight wiggle back and forth with my wand. What that's going to do, that's going to make sure that all of your lashes are separated evenly, and it's going to make sure that they each get evenly coated. If your eyelashes are like this, you're not going to get nearly as much length versus if they're all untangled and straight. So this is going to help us get length and volume since we're making sure all of our lashes are coated. So I'm starting kind of in the middle, and then I'm just going to go forward with that little wiggle motion, making sure everything is nice and separated. Then as I get towards the end, I kind of just fan it out a little bit. I'm really running out of mascara, so normally we'd have a little bit more than this to work with, but that's okay. So there is that slight wiggle, and people have asked me about using an eyelash primer. An eyelash primer is like a clear mascara. Literally, that's all it does. So your eyelash primer is doing the same thing that we're doing with this method, except for the fact that we're adding in the color already. So you don't need to go buy 2 products. You can just do this with your mascara. Making sure it's all nice and out. I always do 2 coats of mascara. So your first one is your priming coat. So it's really important to make sure that all of your eyelashes are where you want them to be with this first coat. So they're nice and spread out. And then I promise when we go in with the second coat, you're gonna see how crucial it is to have a second coat of mascara. I always do my bottom real quick, just little wiggle back and forth on the
And I
bottom.
don't get to talk about the past, cause I know that's no good. But maybe we could talk about now.
And then that is coat 1 on this eye. So we could just leave it at that, but I'm going to show you the magic of a second coat. So we'll apply the first coat to the other side, then we'll do the second coat on this side, and you'll be able to see the real difference.
I dream about getting back together sometimes, like I forget the way that you hurt me like it was nothing. Oh, I cried into my pillow for you. It's true, you knew, but you're all I'm thinking about tonight.
So there's coat 1. Already we're all fanned out and voluminous, but now we want to really increase that volume. We've gotten our length pretty much as good as it's going to be. So the second coat here is where you're going to really see that difference maker. This is really the key, priming and then doing the second coat. So I use the same method when I do it, the slight wiggle and making sure we're going from root to end. And I wish the sun would pick if it's going to be behind a cloud or not. It's kind of really blinding me. So we're doing this little wiggle back and forth, making sure everything is good and finalized.
I thought that I would hate you, but I don't. You're still the one I want when I close my eyes. And now I'm thinking of you. Oh God, why? Here we go again. Why do I pretend I know how it ends? And you
Okay, I never use an eyelash curler. Some people do, some people swear by it, but really if my eyelashes are having problems, I'll just kind of take my finger underneath and just push them upwards. I mean, usually it's just the very corner that needs it. I feel like the eyelash curler just, I don't know. I've never really found a huge difference maker in them. They are beneficial, but it's just not something I've ever done. So I might just kind of use my finger and I'll put it right underneath my lash and then kind of just blink because it'll force your eyelash up a little bit and then it will kind of curl it. Now that you've got that mascara on while it's set and drying. Here is 2 coats versus 1 coat, and while we can do more and more and more coats, this is the best way to get super full lashes without looking clumpy. It's very natural looking, and I get asked all the time if I'm wearing falsies, and I'm not. So this is where it's at. This is how we're, I mean, look at that difference already. Just 1 extra coat. So this is just primed. This is primed and actually taking advantage of the fact that we just primed our lashes. So again, on the other side with the second coat, got a hair.
arms tonight. Here we go again, here we go.
You do want to make sure when you're doing your second coat that you don't give too much drying time in between. Usually by the time I've done one side, it's perfect timing to go over to the other side while it's still not completely dry, but it's still able to be manipulated and added to, so that coat there is going to really work well. If you wait too long, you know, like 5 minutes or something, then you're really just going to be making your eyelashes look clumpy because that mascara is not finding anything to bond with. It's just coating the outside of something that's already dry and it makes it dry funky. So just kind of make sure that you really just do your 2 coats back to back and you'll get the best results.
Here we go, here we go, here we go again.
Also, if you've noticed, I don't usually dip back in my wand back into my mascara tube when I go down to do my bottom lashes, because my bottom lashes are not super thick, not super full, so they don't need a ton of product. So it really works best for me if I just work with what's left from doing the top. And boom, there is our fuller lashes, 2 coats. Make sure you really prime that as you get started. Now, the last thing that I can say is really important with having fuller lashes is making sure that we're not like pulling them out so we don't end up losing our eyelashes. When you're wearing mascara, it's important to know how to take it off correctly. You don't want to pull it ever. That's going to pull your eyelashes out and we don't want that. You really just want to use a cloth or your hands, but I feel like that just gets too much left over under your eye and you don't want that. I usually use a cloth or a makeup remover. I will press and hold it to my eye for just a couple of seconds to let it kind of saturate and get in there. And then I'll just do a slight little rubbing motion back and forth, not aggressively, because we're not trying to make those eyelashes come out. We're just trying to loosen up that mascara that's on the eyelashes. And then as you finally you'll feel a slight release. So there's not nearly as much tension versus when you're just getting started. You'll feel a slight release. And then as you're rubbing back and forth, you can feel that it's loose. I'll just move my hand down very slowly. So it's going to make sure that we get that all the way off without ripping our eyelashes out. And that's going to keep your eyelashes nice and full and long without you having to rip your eyelashes out at the end of the day. Take your time when you take off your mascara. I don't like washing my face. I do it religiously because acne's always been a problem for me and it gets worse if I don't wash my face. So that being said, even though I don't like it, I always take the time to make sure that I am moving slowly and getting my mascara off without ruining my eyelashes. You have to protect your eyelashes. I don't use eyelash serums. I don't use any extra products. This is just what I do, and this is how I get my eyelashes to look the way that they do. And this is where people always ask me if I'm wearing falsies or not. Just the 3 things. Step 1 is using an eyeliner, thin eyeliner. Looking far away, it doesn't look like I'm wearing eyeliner right now, but where my eyelashes are coming from at the roots looks thicker, which gives this illusion that my eyelashes are thicker. Step 2 is using that first coat as a primer, getting that shape set, making sure you get that wiggle back and forth so that we're separating our eyelashes, making sure we get maximum fullness and maximum volume with them. And step 3 is then doing a second coat. You've just done all of this priming to your eyelashes, so take advantage of that and now get the mascara like really going. That's going to be key for you. Step 4 is just knowing how to take it off at the end of the day without ruining your eyelashes at all. Just gently rubbing back and forth, letting it saturate, and taking the time to actually get it off correctly. Never leave it on overnight. Your eyelashes don't like to feel stiff. It's not natural for them and they need time to breathe. So at the end of the day, make sure that you're taking it off and don't leave it on overnight. Try these tips and let me know if they help you. I have shared these with some of my friends and they've told me they're total game-changing tips. Let me know how this has helped you. Don't forget to like this video if these tips have been helpful. Subscribe to my channel for more reviews and tips like this. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.